Hey everyone, we're here at Indian Accent with Daniel Beedle, the beverage director, to learn about Madeira. What?
Yeah.
This week on Follow That Somm, we're headed to Indian Accent. Beverage director Daniel Beedle has cultivated the largest selection of Madeira by the glass in New York City. And he's here to help us understand why pairing wine with Indian food is such an exciting challenge.
Can you give everyone who doesn't know a quick overview? What is Madeira?
Absolutely. Madeira is a fortified wine coming from a very special island in the middle of the Atlantic. It is based off of 6 primary grapes: Cercial, Verdelho, Boal, Malmsey, and then you have Tinta Negra and Tarentaise. It can be on the dry side, it can be on the sweet side. So it depends exactly which style you prefer. It was essentially a mistake. It was discovered by accident. They used to ship it because they'd fortify it so it would last its journey. They'd add alcohol essentially to the wine. When you're out in the middle of the ocean, you're going back and forth, especially with some of these earlier vessels. It would just not make the journey. The wine at the end.
The extra alcohol is to protect the wine and make the journey.
Yeah, exactly. It's to make sure that it can be fortified or strong enough to go through the journey and last and be good at the end. So they would do this, and they would take the ships down past the equator into the Caribbean, because that's how you get to America. You actually go down and then up. And it would bake in the hull of these wooden ships, almost like an oven. And they realized once on a return ship from Hong Kong that they were going to throw the wine out, and then they tasted it, and they're like, wow, this is unique and this is special. They realized it was better after it had gone through the journey. And they started trying to find a way just to make it get there in the first place, and they realized it was even better when it came back. And so that's the whole history of Madeira and why it tastes so unique.
So we are here to debunk the myth that wine does not go with Indian food. It does quite well.
It does very well, and actually, our guests love it with it, but it's dish specific. So when you're talking about what goes well with this one dish, it's really, you have to have this huge palette of wines to choose from to just nail that one, versus in other restaurants you can have, a nice lovely Chardonnay to go along with most of the food. This, it's like every single dish is specific, and so that's why we have a big list, so that we can nail each individual one. We can play around a little bit more.
You've got a challenge on your hands.
It's a fun challenge. Yeah, that's why I signed up.
All right, so what's our first thing we're going to taste?
We're going to be tasting the Rare Wine Historic Series Baltimore Rainwater, medium dry. So there's going to have just a touch of sweetness, a little off dry.
Let's taste this.
Okay.
I had a little root beer there.
Yeah, there's definitely some root beer licorice-like characteristics.
Licorice.
At first you're like, oh, it's sweet, but then you get these fresh fruits, figs, dates, and these toffee notes. The acid is still pretty high. I'm salivating right now.
Yeah, me too, right here.
So it is sweet, but really not much sweeter than a Spätlese or like a sweet Riesling, which goes very well with food, by the way. Everyone loves it. This is exactly the same, but unlike Riesling, it has those savory elements for the dried spices in the food.
And you can't kill this stuff, it sounds like, because it's been around for
4,000
years.
That's the great thing about this, is that it's not going to go bad in your house. Keep it lightly refrigerated. And they actually have stuff from the 1700s. They open, take a little sip, keep it back in, and it's been doing that for years now.
Tell us this guy, and then the difference between the two.
So huge difference on this one. The first one that we tasted was a blend of multiple vintages. And you can think like blended champagne. It's rich and has this overall bigger, plusher mouthfeel. This one is a single vintage. It's a 1989 from one grape, the highest acid grape, and the driest in styles, which is Cercial. You can look at the color. You can see that it spent a little bit more time being oxidized. It's a little bit darker, and it has more precision. The vintage dated ones, they have more finesse. They're more delicate.
Tell me what you smell.
Right off the way, I get wet hay, barnyard characteristics coming out of this. I do get a lot of espresso and also orange and ginger. I get a lot of that orange peel-like characteristic coming in as well.
Candied.
Candied, yeah. Candied ginger, candied orange. Yeah.
Should we taste it? Okay, I'm gonna do your tasting card. On the front, it's raisiny. It's like honey. Then I can taste oak barrel.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, it's neutral oak barrel, so it's not like the toasted vanilla, but that.
And what am I getting then?
It's that respiration. It's that breathing of the barrel.
Oh.
You taste every aspect of what the barrel does.
Oh.
Yeah, and you also get that reduction of being cooked in heat. It's a flavor that makes it just very unique. What I like also about this Cerciales is that it's on the drier side. It's less cloying than the other one, and I think therefore goes better with foods, especially soups. It kills with soups.
Does? Are we gonna
Yeah.
have a soup with it?
We're gonna have soup with this, some cheese and soup.
Ooh.
Yeah, it reminds me of breakfast cereal.
Yes.
Like it really does. I get this like really sweet breakfast cereal like characteristic to it.
I'm thinking pancakes with the syrup. I mean, and the butter.
Yeah, it is. It's like pancakes and butter and syrup.
It's so delicious.
Yeah,
Come get Madeira.
it's like a happy Saturday morning.
This is a
Yeah.
happy Saturday morning.
Yeah,
And we're gonna make it even happier with some food.
cool, excellent.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much. Can you tell us what they're delivering right now?
This is a pumpkin coconut shorba with garam masala. It's like a little soup that you just start every meal with. It's warming. It has this garam masala spice blend onto it, and it really just mimics this so well.
It really
I love
does.
it. And another thing that he always starts the meals off with is blue cheese stuffed naan. The blue cheese is not something you typically eat in India, so he gives it to him just to say you're not in for an experience that you're going to expect. Something
Ooh,
different.
I'm gonna shake it up for you.
And it's salty,
I love
and
it.
it's fatty, and it's rich. So that's what we started off with.
Wow. I mean there's a lot of spices in that.
Yeah, you can. It's alive with all
It's
the
alive.
spices.
It is alive. I was expecting it to be a little sweeter, and it's savory and rounded. Oh, now I'm
If you taste this, tell me how sweet it tastes. You don't notice it so much. You don't notice it so much.
That doesn't taste sweet at all.
It's the food and the tannins in the food itself that make it a good balance.
Wow, it totally cleared my palate completely. Oh, did we go naan? We went naan. That is absurd.
I say we should do it by the bucket. But
The blue cheese is like so subtle. It's like a subtle blue, and then it like envelops my mouth.
whereas this tastes a little touch sweet by itself, with this, it works very nicely.
You're right. The sweetness of the Madeira comes down, and the sweetness of the soup kind of blends together. Is that right?
Yeah,
It just all evens out.
it does.
So, Daniel, you've been followed. Thank you for taking us on a Madeira history around the world and in the U.S. And we can't wait to come to Indian Accent.
Absolutely.
Head to Indian Accent to discover the beauty of wine and Indian food with beverage director Daniel Beedle. For more articles and videos, head to wineforfood.com.